I'm happy to stand here to make a presentation about Rent-A-Bone. Today we will analyze this company from three perspectives: internal and external environment and business level strategy. And the first part is internal environment. Rent-A-Bone is a car rental company which was established in Melbourne in 1979. It has 8 branches in Melbourne and 4 branches in other cities. And I will analyze internal environment through value analysis, and I selected 2 resources of this company. The tangible resource, cars. Cars is a very important resource of this company. When it comes to valuable, the answer is yes, because Rent-A-Bone offers numerous cheap and fulfilling products. This is done by decreasing the price of the car rental service. Rarity, the answer is no, because car resources that can only be required by one or very few companies are considered rare. It is obvious that other competitors also offer products that are offered by Rent-A-Bone. In limitability, the answer is still no, because whether you are directly imitating the resource or providing the comparable product, the price will not be so high. It means the cost of imitation will not be so high. You can just purchase some very cheap second-hand cars. And the last, the organizational. The answer is no. Why? Because I think Rent-A-Bone doesn't update their product often and launch many products, which means they do not make good use of this resource. And for those who want to experience new products and service from time to time, Rent-A-Bone is not a good choice for them. As the intangible resource of this company, I choose brand awareness. With regard to valuable, the answer is no. Why? Because Rent-A-Bone brand name can't enable customers to enjoy and feel a bond of association with the brand. Reality, the answer is no, because actually there are so many car rental companies in Australia. Rent-A-Bone is just a very small one. In limitability, the answer is no. It would be generally simple for other companies to copy the plan of actions of Rent-A-Bone. They can just buy some very cheap used cars to compete with Rent-A-Bone and build their brand awareness very soon. The last is organization. Actually, this company established very earlier. Even though they was established in 1979, there are just a handful of branches in Australia. And Rent-A-Bone got a very low customer review on the productreview.com.au. So we can see that the brand awareness of Rent-A-Bone is not very high. Overall, this company has no sustainable competitive advantage, just has 1 or 2 competitive advantage. Here is SWOT analysis. The strength of this company is focused low-cost strategy and zero and upgrades product choice. It's very useful. And the weakness of this company is the company has not been able to tackle the challenges presented by the new entrants in the high-end model market. The opportunity, Rent-A-Bone's penetration is not very high, which translates to a big market waiting to be tapped. And considering the economic difficulties in the global markets, people may warm up to the idea of car sharing market quite quickly, and the cheap car model of Rent-A-Bone is a good choice to enter into this market. The threats of this company, each time Rent-A-Bone decides to enter into a new market, it has made an upfront investment in vehicles. And other car rental companies such as Harris and Awares that already have a strong brand awareness.
Okay, my part is to analyze the external environment in car rental industry. So here we have 2 questions. The first is, how attractive is car rental industry? For this question, we will introduce Porter's 5 forces model here. Porter develops one critical tool, which called 5 forces model, for analyzing external factors. And next, I will develop a industry life cycle. And the second question is, who are Rent-A-Bone's competitors? For this question, we are going to make a strategic group map to make it clear. Let's move on to Porter's 5 forces model. The first factor here is the threat of new entrants. In this case, the threat is considerably high here because of the low switching cost, low differentiation of products, and low barriers of the government policy. The next fact is the bargaining power of suppliers. As we know, there are so many car manufacturers. For car rental industries, there are suppliers of car models. This means they have so many optional suppliers. And again, the low switching cost of car rental companies also decreases their suppliers' power. That means if car rental companies hope to exit this industry, they can just start a new business to sell their used cars. Next, the threat of substitute products is considered some but not much. First, for international students and travelers, there is low possibility for them to purchase a new car for their trip. However, they may choose public transport as their substitute products. And for national residents, they may consider to purchase a new car due to the drop of petrol price. And the last factor is intensity of rivalry. Here, the competitiveness is moderate, but there are so many competitors and low differentiation of products in car rental industry. So overall, it's quite an attractiveness industry for the new entrants with the intense rival. However, the buyer's high bargaining power and the threat of substitute products may exist. Here we found there are some key success factors in this industry. The first, of course, is the price of rental and the insurance of the cars. The second is the quality of recipient services. That means the service you received in the store. The third is the range of optional car models. The vehicle working condition is also a key success factor, and as well as the reliability of the cars. The last, we think, which decides the success of this of the company in this industry is the convenience of picking up and returning a car.
Okay. Talking about the industry life cycle, we believe the car rental industry in Australia is at a maturity stage, because you can see the annual revenue of this industry is very high and the annual growth is very low, which means the whole market is very stable. There are about 1,000 businesses in Australia, and the whole market is dominated by those giant companies. That's a good news to rent a boom, because there won't be so many new entrants to threat the current position of rent a boom. Okay, here we go, the strategic group map, and we can see we position rent a boom at this position. The lowest price and the lowest breadth of models. We can tell that rent a boom is using price as its biggest advantage, biggest attraction, but sacrifice some of its car models. Okay, talking about the business strategy, we deem that rent a boom is using focused cost leadership strategy, which means rent a boom will just focus on a narrow buyer segment, which includes university students, budget travelers, or millennials who live in the city. In conclusion, people who care most about the price but are less concerned about the comfort of the rental car. And also, they use lower cost as their competitive advantages. To achieve this, we believe this company use three methods mainly. The first one is using lower cost inputs. All rentable cars from Rent a Boom are compact cars with little equipment, and most of them are about 10 years old cars. So those cars can be purchased at a very low price from the second-hand car market. And the second one is using the company's bargaining power to gain concession from its suppliers. As a car rental company, Rent a Boom need to buy a large amount of cars every year, so they can using it as a power to demand discounts from second-hand cars dealers. And the last one is selling directly to its consumers to avoid costs of distributors and dealers. And Rent a Boom conducts rental operations on its official websites, and this will also improve its overall efficiency.
So now, if my part is like now it's about the benefit. So why one company, particular Venerable, would not move to another area such as the lower cost differentiating strategy? Why doesn't it move up or why doesn't it move that way? Well, particularly there actually a benefit to stay here in each market. So first of all, if you're using overall, the company will be easy to survive in that competition. If you go out there, if Venerable go into the broad market in lower cost, they somehow could not compete with this giant company because they have the economic skill, they have the knowledge, they have the resources. So it's really hard, really tough to compete with a big company, especially this international company. So lowering here, staying here is the most. It could be less vulnerable to survive in the long time. Also, lower cost strategy is good increasing the profit because remember one thing: if you having a revenue, dollar revenue, it doesn't mean that $1 profit. But if you can sell $1 cost, it means that $1 the cost of $1 is a profit. And then if you are in the low cost strategy and you are in the niche market, the market that ignored by international company, if you can win the price war, you can say that, well, we have the lower price for the suitable product, so you tend to be dominating into that market, so you can more likely to win the price war against the big competitor. And avoiding competing with international car rental company, as I said before, that if you stand in here, you tend to be survive in the long term, not just only in the short term, because this market is really ignored by this international company. You tend to be grabbing their attention more, and this market also increasing because today and nowadays, millennials are now starting using their the car because we have increasing of a share riding like Uber or Didi. Those people are pushing millennials to not buying a car. So if you stay in this niche market, especially in the city, you can tend to be grabbing their attention and more likely to rent those budgets. So now come to the negative side of the low-cost strategy. Well, of course, positive and negative are on the same boat. So the drawback of this strategy is low-cost strategy only work effectively when the value is large. So company that having the large scale would be benefit from it, but company at small scale probably not because they suffer, they could not achieve economic scale, so which is cost them more money. Another one is using cost to be copied, which is rare. Everyone can do it, everyone can know about it, so it's simple in nowadays. Another one is cutting costs back could fail to attract attention from the buyer. What that means is the more the cost that you cut, which means the more less money that you invest into your product, it means that the product is less attractive to consumer. So when you're cutting the cost, make sure that you have cut it in the right way, not in the way that it could be somehow less attractive to consumer. And now it's reaching to the conclusion. So what we are coming up today and what we are positioned and what we stand for is my suggestion is let the Venerable to stay in their market, which is lower cost strategy in the niche market, because we see that now a consumer, which is really millennial and people who live in the city, doesn't want to own a car because high price of fuel, high price of insurance, the cost of maintenance is kind of a rising for those millennials, and people doesn't want to own a car and they start using the app, like the sharing app like Didi and Uber, which is something that's threatening this industry. So my implication is we want the Venerable to stay in this market because of the thing that the trending, the consumer behavior has changed from the past 20 decades, from the past 10 years, because people are not the same like before. So if you stay in the low price, understanding about your product, understanding about your consumer, understanding about how consumer change in today's world, I think Venerable would be doing successfully grabbing this niche market, and they will be successful in the future. Thank you.
Overall, we believe Rent a Boom only has moderate competitiveness. It will be able to survive from competition, but it will never become one of the dominator in car rental industry.